Hi there, history fans. So as you noticed, maybe I was gone for some time because I was visiting friends and family in Croatia because, you know, like the borders were a little bit loosened and so on. So I took the first ride and went there. But I made some project videos and yesterday I published the first one. So you can go watch it if you didn't and give me your input and say if you like the video or not and so on. So today we have another epic rap battle of history and it's Fawkes versus Che Guevara. So a guy that wanted to make a revolution or a change or something like that and didn't succeed, and a guy who succeeded. And one is the 17th century, 17th century, and the other one is the 20th century. So I'm interested how this battle is going to develop, how they're going to attack each other. But if you have some additional information, interesting things to say and so on, or to correct me on something, please let me know in the comment section below. I will appreciate it. And after the video, you can go and vote for the next video and also say who, in your opinion, won and who lost. So let's jump into the video. Bah. And as always, the link to the original video is going to be in the description below. Bah.
Guevara the terror, fresh Guevara, ill rhyme slayer from the 60s era, revolting heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers, known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. You're famous cause of Alan Moore's third best book. All the children say we will be like Che, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away. You tried to rebel against James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot, try to rehearse. I got my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge. You had one job, cabron, to strike a matchstick. Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit, you should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy. Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive.
As a communist, it must really hurt
that was nice.
Has been cheapened, weakened, besmirched, being plastered on posters, coasters, and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch. Right,
Nice
I'm a wise
comeback,
man, and
nice
I fight for the
comeback.
Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword. I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt pretty much the same. Ooh, face it, Ernesto, you're Castro, but less so. He's Cuba commander, you're more of the destro. Revolt all you want, I don't give two guy fucks. But look at Venezuela, what you're fighting for sucks.
Sucks, guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys habit. And this porn star pilgrim look, what's up with that? It's more like me,
No
a
comments.
very bad ad. Oh, what's the fuck say now? When they cut your chunk out, I'm the hardest Marxist ever graced a banknote. You're an error-prone terrorist, penny for the scapegoat.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed. I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. You're an upchain, that's Bay of Pigs Latin. After what just happened, you should retire. Is it the 5th of November? Cause I'm on fire!
Nice. Okay, remember the 5th of November. Okay, as always, if you want to stay, go vote. It's going to be in the community tab. Go vote, decide who's next, who won, who was better at attacking, and so on. So there are going to be different polls for this one. As always, we're going to rewatch the video and I'm going to give some of my thoughts, opinion, additional information that I maybe know. As I said, I appreciate every correction, everything that you have to say to that for those two guys or whatever you know. Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, I won't be able to cover everything. So let's jump in again. The costumes are nice as always. So, you know, like the hat and especially the feather here, and it must be red. And the anonymous mask. So if you guys didn't know, Guy Fawkes was actually like the inspiration for the anonymous mask. And Alan Moore was actually also writing, or he wrote the book V for Vendetta about this guy and the gunpowder plot and so on. But we're gonna go into it. of course, the Baretta. Ah, come on. Of course, the Baretta, the army clothing. Very nice, as always.
Guevara the terror, fresh Guevara, ill rhyme slayer.
Yeah, King Guevara is that's something I noticed. King Guevara is, as far as I know, there are the main factory for those Berettas. And an interesting thing about Berettas, there were a lot of ancient historians who found, and art historians, who actually found out that a similar design of today's Berettas was actually already used in ancient times, in Roman times and so on. But this one, I think that this one is it's called like the Basque style Baretta, so the Basque region in Spain, and they were popularized mostly in Spain and France. And I think the first like big producement of Berettas was actually in the 17th century Spain. But yeah, that's an interesting thing about Berettas.
Fresh Guevara, ill rhyme slayer from the 60s era. Revolting, heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers. Known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. You're famous cause of Alan Moore's third best book.
Yeah, Alan Moore's book V for Vendetta. But he also wrote the book Batman, The Killing Joke, if you didn't know. But the thing is, he's probably saying like, you know, like that they were that they didn't have mercy while they conducted, you know, like the Cuban Revolution from 53 to 1958, 59, because, you know, like they first invaded Cuba, I think from Mexico. So Che Guevara and his guerrilla warriors, they invaded it, but it went horribly, and then he and the rest of his squad, they started a guerrilla warfare, and that's probably why he's referencing guerrillas and guerrilla warfare. And that they were merciless because, you know, like with guerrilla warfare, as we mentioned it 1,000 times on this channel, the civilian population gets even more caught in the war conflict, and there are always more casualties. So he's probably referencing how he was merciless also to the civilian population. Maybe, I don't know.
All the children say we will be like Che, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away.
Yeah, he was actually asthmatic. And I think that in Cuba, I'm not sure if it's still today, but Che is, you know, like Che Guevara is a big figure in Cuban, you know, like history and so on, in the narrative today. But as far as I know, in the past, they were singing songs in the schools, how they all want to be like Che, so he's probably referencing to that. But I'm not sure if they're continuing with the same, you know, like with the same songs and the same, let's call it propaganda or whatever you want to call it, in the schools. But yeah, he was asthmatic.
You tried to rebel against James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse. I got my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge.
He's saying it because Guy Fawkes didn't succeed, you know.
Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge. You had one job, cabron, to strike a matchstick. Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit. You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy. Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive. As a comp.
Yeah, okay, so there was a lot. So yeah, Guy Fawkes was caught eventually in the gunpowder plot. It was, oh god, 1605. I know it's the beginning of the 17th century, but I think it's 1605, but it was the 5th of November, and he got caught, and the plot was actually to blow up the Westminster when James I comes in, because after Henry VIII, England was a Protestant nation, and of course the opposition was the Catholics, and they wanted to reinstate a Catholic government or a Catholic king and so on. And it was a plot to assassinate the king, the Protestant king, and to install a Catholic one, but eventually it failed. And Guy Fawkes was actually the one, maybe the famous one of the ones who attended the plot. Nobody probably heard about Thomas Piercy. So, yeah. But he was also the scapegoat for that plot. And yeah, he had only one job, to light the match and to, you know, like ignite the gunpowder that was I'm not sure if the gunpowder was already placed at Westminster, or if they didn't even plant they didn't even succeed in planting the gunpowder. Check it up, let me know.
Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive.
And yeah, he was caught and he was executed, so he was hung. And he didn't want to, you know, like, because by hanging, there are two options. Either the rope is a little bit longer and then you fell and you know, like, you break your neck and you're instantly gone. Or, you know, like, your neck doesn't break and then you know, like, I don't know for how long. I don't know, a minute or something like that. Then you're suffering and so on. But Guy Fawkes actually jumped from the gallows to break his neck so that he wouldn't suffer that much.
As a communist, it must really hurt that your face has been cheapened, weakened, besmirched.
This
being
one is
plastered on
good.
posters, coasters, and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch. Right, I'm a pious man.
Yeah, like, you know, like, I mean, Che Guevara merch, you know, like, you can find t-shirts and hats and, I don't know, bumper stickers and so on with his face on it. But as he was a communist and he was actually against capitalists, and capitalists are now using his face to make money with selling merch, you know, like, he's making fun of it. And I think that this was a great comeback from him.
And a fight for the Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword. I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt pretty much the same. Ooh, face it, Ernest.
Yeah, he was actually pretty much, he was tortured very much. And it was also said that they chopped off his genitals, let's call it that way. But they tortured him because they wanted to know the other who were complicit in the gunpowder plot. And he didn't want to, you know, like, give up the names. I think it was days and days they tortured him. But eventually he gave up. And at the end, you always needed, under your confession and so on, you needed to sign your name. And he was so brutally tortured that eventually, you know, like, he couldn't even sign his name properly. So he got it pretty hard. Yeah, and Ernesto was Che Guevara's actual name, and he was Argentinian by birth, I think. And Che means actually, in English, if you translate it, I think in Indian or Latin Indians use it. Che means hey you. So eventually he took it.
He's Cuba commander, you're more of the destro. Revolt all you want, I don't give two Guy Fawkes. But look at Venezuela, what you're fighting for sucks.
Sucks. Guy, you died.
Yeah, actually Che was the main person in the Cuban Revolution, you know, like, leading the guerrillas and fighting and so on. And Castro was also a pretty important guy, but I would say that Che was more important in the Cuban Revolution, or making it succeed. But eventually, as the revolution, you know, like, unfolded, I think it was the 1st of January 1959 that it's like the Independence Day or whatever in Cuba. Fidel Castro was actually the one who got on top. And Che was, for some years, Che was the Minister of Finances and something else. I know that he had two posts. Minister of the Central Bank or something like that. And Finances or something like that.
For the Catholics, a group with a bad touching little boys habit. And this porn star pilgrim look. What's up with that?
I'm not gonna comment that.
It's more like me, but very bad at. Oh, what's up?
The sign, you know, like, this is a V for victory. It was used, you know, like, in the 20th century, it was actually very common for people who resisted in the Eastern Bloc, used to resist, you know, like, the Soviet influence and so on. and also, let's say, in the Croatian Independence War, so people and soldiers would go like this, you know, like V for victory. And I know that in some worker strikes in Poland that were led by the Solidarność group, syndicate, they also use that sign, you know, like to be, you know, like, hey, anti-communist victory and so on. But yeah, this one, if you reverse it like this, that in Great Britain, I don't know if it's still today, but it means something like FU. So if you just reverse the V sign.
The Fawkes say now, when they cut your junk out, I'm the hardest Marxist.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's true, but I read somewhere that they cut off his genitalia. Genitalia! I'm the hardest Marxist.
Never graced a banknote. You're an error-prone terrorist. Penny for the scapegoats.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves.
Yeah, as I said, he was some kind of a minister of finances or bank or something like that. But some of the reforms that he wanted to push, and he pushed and eventually installed them, it wasn't that great. I know that one of the reform was, I think, sick leave or something like that, and people just took advantage of it, and it, like, you know, like the economy not crashed, but it went down and down. Okay.
About your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed. I'm Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. You're an upchain, that's Bay of Pigs Latin. After what just happened, you should retire. Is it the 5th of November? Cause I'm on fire!
Yeah, who won, who's next? What else? Yeah, Cuban Revolution, 1953 until 1958-59. I don't know. Yeah, maybe one also interesting thing about Che Guevara, he didn't die in Cuba because he was traveling all along, you know, like Latin America. He also went to Africa, to some countries to support, you know, like upcoming communist leaders and revolutionaries and so on. And he eventually died in Bolivia by an execution squad, so firing squad in Bolivia. But eventually in 1992 or 1990s, his body was eventually transferred to Cuba to be buried there because he's considered in Cuba as a national hero because he, oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. Because he overthrew the government and so on, which was also repressive before the Cuban Revolution started. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed it. Of course, I don't know all the, you know, like inside jokes, American inside jokes and so on. So if you want to add something, correct something, add something interesting, so on, let me know in the comment section below. I will appreciate it. Our community is going to appreciate it. And in the next weeks and so on, I'm gonna have a normal schedule of uploading videos and so on. If you want to be part of our history community, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when new videos come out. And yeah, until next time, see ya!